Hello everyone, welcome to Karma Education. This is the channel for UGC NET Education subject. It has a target to cover whole syllabus of UGC NET Education subject particularly. According to UGC NET Education Syllabus, among the 6 systems of Indian philosophy, Sankhya, Yoga and Vedanta, we have to cover up. Sankhya and Yoga philosophy I already have discussed in my previous lecture. Link is given in the description box. You can go there. In this lecture, I am Konkona Pal going to talk about Vedanta school of philosophy. Vedanta philosophy is a vast school among Shardarsanas or 6 systems of Indian philosophy. These 6 systems of Indian philosophy includes Sankhya, Yoga, Nyaya, Vaisheshika, Mimamsa and Vedanta. All the 6 schools believes in the Vedas. It means they accept the Vedas as an authoritative source of knowledge. That's why these schools are known as Astika or Orthodox schools of Indian philosophy. Broadly, we all knows about the Vedas, but still I am going to present the Vedas in a very crispy form because without recapitulate the essence of the Vedas, we cannot grasp the Vedanta philosophy. The Vedas. The root of the word Veda is Ved in Sanskrit. It means to know. The meaning of the Sanskrit word Veda is knowledge, eternal knowledge, no beginning, no ending. The Vedas are a collection of religious texts of ancient India. It is known as oldest scriptures of Hinduism. The Vedas are also called Shruti, which has been heard or communicated from the beginning, sacred knowledge that was only heard and verbally transmitted from generation to generation. According to Hinduism, the Vedas are Apaurusheya, means impersonal, authorless. According to the epic Mahabharata, Brahma created the Vedas. Vedas are timeless and have universal application. And most importantly, other schools of Indian philosophy like Charvaka, Buddhism, Jainism, they did not consider the Vedas as an authoritative source of knowledge. That's why these schools are known as Nastika or heterodox schools of philosophy. According to tradition, Sage Vyash is the compiler of the Vedas. He arranged 4 kinds of mantras into 4 samhitas. The 4 Vedas are the Rig Veda, the Yajur Veda, the Sam Veda, and the Atharva Veda. Each Veda has been sub-classified into 4 major text types. These are the Samhitas. This includes mantras and benedictions. Next one is the Aranyakas, text on rituals, ceremonies. Third one is the Brahmanas, commentaries of rituals, ceremonies and sacrifice. And the fourth one is the Upanishads, text discussed on meditation, philosophy and spiritual knowledge. And some scholars added the fifth type, Upasanas. It means worship. Vedanta is the core philosophy of Hinduism. The word Vedanta is meant by end of Vedas. The Vedas means the core or fundamental texts of Hinduism. End means the last or highest teaching of the Vedas. Here, end denotes the final conclusion of the Vedas. The Upanishad, the Gita and the Brahma Sutra are the triple canon or foundation of the Vedanta. These 3 are together known as Prasthanatraya. Upanishads are called Shruti Prasthana because they come from the Vedas. Gita is called Smriti Prasthana because it comes from the epic Mahabharata. Brahma Sutra is called Nyaya Prasthana because it comes from the logical foundation of Vedanta. Now, The technical definition of Vedanta is the spiritual knowledge that we get from the Upanishad is Vedanta. This definition helps to draw a clear idea of Vedanta. A Sanskrit expression, neti neti, it means neither this nor that, is a form of analytical meditation that helps the individual to understand the nature of Brahma by first understanding what is not Brahma. Through this neti neti, one could understand Vedanta also in a very easy way. Here, I have tried to explain that what is not Vedanta so that it will be more easy to get the essence of Vedanta. Other schools of philosophy says that heaven is not here, it is there. It talks about space. But Vedanta says that no, heaven is right here. Vedanta is not a journey through space. When other schools of philosophy says that after death you will go to heaven, the word after denotes time. Vedanta says no, you can go to heaven right now. Vedanta is not a journey of time. Other schools of philosophy says that after getting liberation you will get God. You and God, two different objects. Vedanta says that no, I am God. It is not a journey from one object to another object. So, Vedanta is what kind of journey? If it is not a journey of space, time, or object from one to another, Vedanta is a spiritual journey from ignorance to knowledge, from not knowing to knowing, from not realizing to realizing. Vedanta is dharma. Dharma talks about morality, ethics. Vedanta is not dharma. Vedanta is devotion. Devotion is bhakti, surrender to God. Vedanta is not devotion. Vedanta is karma. Karma is a part of yoga. Vedanta is not karma. Vedanta is meditation. No, meditation is Patanjali's yoga. Vedanta is not meditation. So, what is Vedanta? Vedanta is Tat Tam Ashi. It means thou art that. You are Brahma. This definition is mentioned in Chandogya Upanishad. It is one of the Mahavakyas, grand pronouncements in Vedanta. That means God. Thou means individual. So, an individual is God? No. The realization of an individual as God is Vedanta. Aham Brahmasmi, the realization of I am the Absolute. There is two approaches in spiritual life. One is God-centered approach and another is self-centered approach. God-centered approach is supported by Islam, Christian, etc. It is related to searching of God. This approach is devotional and depends on faith of an individual. There is an effort to establish the existence of God because the existence of God is not crystal clear to all in every time and everywhere. So, there is a doubt. If one could accept the existence of God, then there is no problem in it. So, God has an existence unproblematic but in doubt. Besides, self-centered approach is supported by Sankhya, Yoga, Jainism, etc. It is related to searching about self. It is inquiry based, meditation oriented. There is no doubt of our own existence, but it is miserable or problematic existence. Vedanta brings both approaches in one. The unproblematic infinite nature of God, it means that, thou art that, and the undoubted certain nature of yourself, though, are combined in Vedanta philosophy. According to Swami Vivekananda, Vedanta is divinity within us and oneness of existence. Divinity within us means the feeling of I am Shiva, God centered approach. This is God centered approach. And beside this, oneness of existence means the undoubted existence of yourself. This is self centered approach. So he combined both approaches in his definition that Vedanta is divinity within us and oneness of existence. Harmony of religions that follows directly from Vedanta. Serve all beings, knowing them to be none other than to be God is Vedanta. Shiva Gyan Jiva Seva. The Vedanta philosophy is really a vast thing. Information overload is not desirable. No need to skip the video. I am changing the essence right now. Some heavyweight words are there. Dvaita, Advaita, Dvaita Advaita, Suddhadvaita, Vishishtadvaita, and what not. Really, it will become horrible if we skip the meaning of all these words. Let's try to open the riddle. These are some important terms which need to clarify initially. First one is dualism, Dvaita, the division of something into two contrasted or opposed aspects. According to Vedanta philosophy, dualism accepts two realities in the universe. One is physical, another is spiritual. For example, God and world, spirit or Purusha and matter or Prakriti, etc. It means dualism accepts God itself and another one is his creation, that is I am. Next one is non-dualism, Advaita. Advaita means not two. Not two doesn't mean one. It may be either more or less than two. It never be two separate aspects. I am only or God only. Only one reality is accepted over here. Monism. It is a doctrine of unity. It talks about only one kind of substance, for instance, mind or consciousness. So, non-dualism and monism both are against the existence of two separate things. But there is difference between them. Monism talks about unity or oneness, singleness, whereas non-dualism is the doctrine in which either more or less than two substances are there. So therefore, monism is a species of non-dualism. Next one is qualified non-dualism or qualified monism. It is attributive monism. Only one reality is accepted, but it appears as two. It means individual soul is created by God. So each soul is God. So the thing is like that, Almighty God and God in His creation. So there are two aspects of acceptance of God. Okay. The next one is pluralism of soul. It is simply the multiple souls are there. It is the doctrine of multiplicity. I already told about the triple canon of Vedanta philosophy in previous slide. Among the three foundation scriptures, the Brahma Sutra was most important in terms of branches of Vedanta school. Many spiritual masters wrote commentaries of the Brahma Sutra, which became the foundation of various schools of Vedanta philosophy. The oldest branch of Vedanta philosophy is Advaita philosophy. Adi Shankara, sage Adi Shankara, made a commentary on Brahma Sutra. It was based on non-dualism and monism. Previously, I told what is non-dualism and monism. it is basically supports that soul and Brahma both are identical. There is no two separate thing. There is no duality. According to this school, the physical world is an empirical Maya. So the topic of Maya is also included in this philosophy. Maya is a powerful force resides in Brahma which creates the cosmic illusion that phenomenal world is real. Next one is Vishishtadvaita. It is the commentary of sage Ramanujacharya on Brahma Sutra. This school is also non-dualistic or Advaita, but it is a qualified non-dualism or qualified monoism. In this school, Jivatma or human souls and Brahma never transcended it, but the individual soul has the potential to realize identity with Brahma. This is the qualification of human souls. This school is also accept pluralism of souls. Ramanuja talks about the devotion or bhakti as the path to Brahma or liberation. Dvaita Vedanta. It was propounded by Madhavacharya. This school is theistic because it believes that God as Narayana or Vishnu, who is the creator of the universe. It is pluralistic also as it accepts the pluralism of souls, qualitative and quantitative pluralism of souls. Souls and Brahma both are completely different entities as Madhavacharya said. According to him, there is difference between materials, difference between materials and soul, difference between material things and God, difference between souls and God. Next one is Vedavid or Dvaita Advaita. Vedavid or Dvaita Advaita. This is a commentary of Nimbarkacharya on Brahma Sutra. Vedavid, Ved, Yog, Avid. Ved means difference, Aved means non-difference. This school says that individual self or Jivatma is both different and not different from Brahma at a time. Shuddhadvaita. Shuddhadvaita is Vallabhacharya's commentary on Brahma Sutra. It is pure non-dualism. Pure non-dualism means there is no two separate things. Purush and Prakriti both are identical. Everything, everyone, everywhere, soul and body, living and non-living, jiva and matter is the eternal Brahma or Krishna. Vallabhacharya believes the Brahma as Krishna. The last one is Achinta Bhedavid. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's commentary on Brahma Sutra is Achinta Bhedavid. Achinta means inconceivable or unbelievable, and Vedavid means difference and non-difference. This difference and non-difference is the relation between Brahma and Atma, which is non-dual reality. According to Achinta Vedavid, Lord Krishna is all-pervading. It means non-difference. Yet he is inconceivably more difference. This is Achinta Vedavid. Apart from branches of Vedanta philosophy, 6 fundamental concepts are there. These are Brahman, Atman, Avidya, Karma, Samsara, Moksha. Brahman, the central idea of Indian Orthodox philosophy. These ideas should not be confused with the God Brahma or caste Brahmin. Those are different things. Brahman is a true reality of things. It is shapeless, genderless, bodiless. It cannot be described. It can only be experienced. Now, Maya. Maya is magic or illusion. Now, what illusion? The physical world in which we born, we live, and we have to die, this is real, as we know. We accept it as real. The magic is here. That phenomenal world which is very known to us, that is virtual reality. Because of Maya, we think this world as real. But the reality is only one thing, that is Brahman, pure consciousness. Brahma Satya Jagat Mithya, as we know it very well. Pure consciousness is the only reality. Physical world is virtual reality. Atma is essentially the same thing as Brahman, but it's really an illusion that we, we think is this that both are separate thing. Both are separate reality. This is the Maya, this is the illusion. Both are same thing. When we explain Atman, first we have to consider Brahman as only one reality. Everything else is unreal, manifested and manufactured out of Brahman by the power of Maya. To reach back to that Brahman is our goal. Each man consists of three parts, the body, the mind, and behind that, what is called the Atman, the true self. The outer coating is body, internal coating is mind, and the real enjoyer, the perceiver, is Atman. Atman is spirit, it is undifferentiated. Vedanta philosophy says that Brahman and Atman are identical. Our life goal is to know the true self because true self or self knowledge or Atma Gyan is essential for liberation or moksha. Avidya is a Sanskrit word which means ignorance, incorrect knowledge. Obviously, it is opposite of Vidya, means knowledge. Opposite word of Vidya is Avidya. According to Adi Shankara, I am this is mine, that is mine, I am that. These type of words, these type of sentences, usually we use it. Right? This is Avidya. Identify the real nature of soul by separating the phenomenal world, that is Vidya. Okay, Avidya is like a veil upon true self, where it also works as hindrance to realize the true self as identical with Brahman. Okay, Samsara is a Sanskrit word which means world. When we die, the Atman does not disappear, but it will take on or it subjugate itself to another reality. It would perceive it as another life, and this notion of one life after one another or one reality after another is sometimes referred to as transmigration or reincarnation of the soul. This is the notion of samsara, which is this endless cycle of birth and rebirth. Until liberation, this cycle continues. The energy or fuel of this cycle is called karma, and the cessation or termination of this cycle is called moksha. Karma. Sanskrit root of karma is kri, which means action. Karma have consequences, good or bad. What rebirth or the next life is, what the next reality is based on your actions in this life. If you are doing good karma, or right action that leads to rebirth as human being. And if you are doing bad karma or wrong actions, that will lead you to rebirth as other realms of lives. Rebirth denotes the soul is still trapped in avidya or ignorance. The core idea of Vedanta philosophy is to try to escape from this cycle. Okay, now the final step is moksha. It refers to the realization of the true self as Brahman, which is the highest metaphysical reality of the universe. Moksha is the end of samsara, liberation of a soul from birth, death, and rebirth cycle. Realization of Brahman and self is Satchidananda. Satchidananda is also the name of Brahman, which means Sat means being, Chit consciousness, and Ananda bliss. So, moksha is union with Brahman. Spiritual practices leads to moksha. Now, this is the time to correlate Vedanta and the contemporary education system. As you know that Vedas were the source of knowledge and the contemporary education system was surrounded by Vedas, and that's why this education system was known as Vedic education system. Now we will go through the total education system of that time. What was the role of the teacher? What was the discipline? How was the teacher-student relationship? And obviously the aim of the education. Okay, let's start. Education system of Vedic age. Education was totally monopolized by Brahmins. Kshatriya and Vaishya were allowed to receive education after that, and Shudras were usually denied to study holy scriptures. And in terms of elementary education, after the age of 5, child was made to pronounce Vedic mantras, knowledge of sandhis or connecting rules, elementary grammar, elementary arithmetic at home only. After that, Upanayana ceremony was there. It was at the age of 8 for Brahmin, 11 years for Kshatriya and 12 years for Vaishya. And after this ceremony, pupil is called as Brahmachari. And from this point, he began his student life. And they have to stay in their teacher's home or guru's home. Okay, and this is known as Gurukula system. And people could choose their own teacher also at that time, and teacher also known as Acharya. The aim of education during Vedic age was to know true self and realize the union with Brahman. It was totally means of salvation. Inculcation of true devotion among the students to unfold the spiritual and moral power of an individual, to formation of good and moral character, to develop the physical, mental, and intellectual personality of the students, and it was totally individual centered. In terms of curriculum, according to Kathopanishad, the subjects were learned into divided by two categories. First is Paravidya and the other one is Aparavidya. Paravidya or spiritual learning includes the essential study of four Vedas, Vedangas, Upanishads, Puranas, logic, astrology, Deva Vidya, Brahma Vidya, etc. And in terms of worldly learning or Aparavidya, it includes history, Ayurveda, economics, physics, geology, chemistry, Kalpavidya, the Rashi or science of numbers, etc. Besides both the branches, physical education was also emphasized at that time. Riding, archery, wrestling, hunting, jumping, dancing, etc. had to learn. Method of teaching. Two method of teachings were there. First one was Maukhik or oral, had to memorize the Vedic mantras, and second one was Chintan, thinking or reflection. It means had to understand the mantras. Okay, first one was memorize, second one was to understand. And the process of teaching was like Shravana, Manana, Nididhyasana. Shravana means hearing, listening the texts as uttered by the teacher. Then Manana, thinking, deliberation and reflection on the topic. And the last one was Nididhyasana, meditation. Truth is realized and attended by this step. It means Shravana means just you have to listen. Then Manana, you have to reflect on the listen topic. And Nididhyasana means you realize the topic. Okay, the next one is the next thing is that self study or Shravadhyana. It was very important at that time. Lecture, dialogue, debate, discussion, question answer method were adopted at that time also. In terms of discipline, it was very rigid at that time. Brahmacharya or celibacy was compulsory for all pupils. Rigid rules were there for code of conduct for the pupils. Code of dress was also observed. Punishment was also at that time observed. Particular rules were framed for students to respect their teacher. Code of conduct were framed for both student and teacher. Teacher was the center of education system. He was called as Acharya or Guru. He was respected as God by the student, and not only from the student, he enjoyed respect from the whole society. Education was free of cost, but after completion of education, Guru demanded Guru Dakshina or remuneration, and it was not only a monetary demand. I hope the video will be helpful to you.